Hello, Scorpio, and welcome to your October 2017 tarot card reading. So this is for October 1st through October 15th, and roughly, and this is for Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Rising. So I've already shuffled and meditated on your sign, and then I drew a couple animal cards, which I'll start by reading from the book because you guys like that. And then I'll give you my intuitive sense about it. Again, I'm sure you've heard me say before that these two animal cards are just an overarching thematic energy to keep in mind as we move through the rest of the spread. So, big energy for Scorpio this month. We have the crow and the beaver. And it feels like as though the crow is sort of crossing the beaver. So I'm going to start by reading the crow. The crow. Spiritually strong, creative, watchful. The crow has long been a symbol of magic. A crow personality is drawn to the supernatural, and has a gift for seeing the unseen, knowing the unknown. It is said that the crow holds within its mind's eye the three realities, past, present, and future. Crow energy is potent and should only be tapped into when the mind is clear. Those with crow tendencies must balance their life with a healthy diet, joyful friends, and regular self-study. When in balance, psychic, strong, clear. When out of balance, ungrounded, hypersensitive. To bring into balance, daily meditation practice. So there is this strong intuitive energy, and just when I pulled this card in particular, there was a sense that you're taking matters into hand, and there's almost like there's taking action on something that required a lot of contemplation, that you've been contemplating over for some time. And now it's sort of this sense of you're ready to take action steps forward with something. And it feels like something very close to your heart. And it feels like something that you've sort of been biding time on. There's this crossroads energy with the crow, but this great sense of direction. Interestingly enough, this great sense of direction, so a knowing of what you want to do as far as the next step, but also this understanding of the mystery that you're stepping into. So it is this venturing into the unknown here a bit. And it's like something that you have almost been preparing for, in a way. So then we have the beaver. There it is. The beaver. Hard worker, loyal, tireless, family first. Strong family vibes here. The beaver personality is a welcomed sight. These good-natured and dependable creatures have infinite love and enthusiasm for family and express it by way of the earth element, providing a home, providing financial stability. Although a beaver doesn't usually initiate a project, once started, they'll work steadily for weeks, months, or years to see it through. The beaver card appears when the task at hand requires your long-term, steady effort. It can also signify that it's time for some karma yoga, selfless service. When in balance, happy, meaningful work. When out of balance, feels useless, worn out. To bring into balance, physical labor, selfless service. And I do feel like there is a good amount of selfless service taking place. So for many of you, I feel the beaver energy is just pointing towards this prioritizing and this strong sense of priority right now. There is this dedication that's coming strongly from this beaver card. So it's dedication and family, and that tireless effort that tireless, that diligent pressing forward with something, with an endeavor of some kind, is also coming from the Beaver energy. So let's just keep these in mind. This is a strong, strong energy. And then let me tilt the camera down so you can have a peek at these cards as we flip them over. So the Celtic cross here. So this represents you, your general energy. We have the Three of Cups. Oh, no. So I just heard full house. And then crossing, we have the Son of Swords next to the World. So in the recent past, we have, okay, the Four of Cups. So this is this contemplation energy. And there's almost like keeping something underground, which now it looks like is going to be coming to the surface. So this is rooting this spread. The Ace of Pentacles reversed. And I heard lack of direction here. Okay, let's keep going forward. So we have in the near future the Father of Wands reversed, and we have the Chariot. Interesting. So very strongly, and I'll go through these more specifically, but this feels like someone around you is digging their heels in, is the feeling I'm getting. And then up here in the, oh wow, the Ten of Cups reversed. This feels very transformational. I just heard a big leap. Okay, but logical step forward. So it's like logical next step, but also a big leap. So there is this leaping from almost one texture, one reality into another, like that. It's a decision. So then here in this also represents your general energy. The Nine of Wands reversed. Okay. So there is sort of this overburdening here that can come connected to this Beaver card. I feel these are very strongly connected. And to this also, this full house energy. And then in this environment, we have the Seven of Cups. Emotional, strong water energy here. And then we have, oh, right over it in the hopes and fears, the Seven of Wands reversed. So there is this question of being able to stand on your own. And then, wow, so many signs I've gotten this leading into the second part of October. We have the Ace of Swords. Okay. Really interesting. Really interesting. So, Three of Cups. The focal point of your reading. And when I'm looking at this in relation to you, looking to find you, I find you associated with these two others. So there seems to be this strong collaborative energy that is circling, I want to say in your household, but just circling in your inner circle here. Your inner circle is coming together for something. And I'm hearing lots of conversations. Lots of conversations. And then crossing you in these 2 weeks, this feels as though it's, the Son of Swords feels as though it is interesting. I'm actually looking out my window and there's like a drone or something whirling around. So it feels like there's this watchful energy. So there's an overseer of some kind. It feels oddly associated with this card. This little whirling drone. So there's this, yes, someone keeping a sharp eye, and this could be you who's keeping a sharp eye on something. I just heard taking temperature. So keeping a sharp eye on something. But there is just sort of this, there's something mercurial about whatever you're analyzing, you're looking at. So it's potentially changeable here, very changeable. So it's almost like you're keeping your finger on the pulse of something. Marking progress, I just heard. So that seems to be over these 2 weeks, something that you're putting a lot of your attention into. And this feels both like a support system, someone supportive who's helping you to oversee, but it also feels like you, like your energy. For some of you, this is you, or both. And the world feels just in general for you like winds of change. And there is this synchronicity that I associate so strongly with this card. So that's still something to keep in mind here. And I feel like there's a wrapping up of something. And it almost happens almost synchronistically. It's something that feels you were holding back on. But then it just, there's something where you're like, this time actually kind of feels like it's the perfect time. The best it's going to get, I just heard. No time like the present, I just heard. So there is at the root of this spread, the Ace of Pentacles, which is a beautiful card. It's carrying sort of this duality here, which is interesting. Because we have this strong, sort of this wholeness that's represented here. But there's something quite heavy about this energy. So something that almost it feels like has weighed you down. Something that has weighed heavily on you. And it has to do with a decision, and it has to do with more so indecision. And I did hear lack of ambition. So it feels environmental, or it could be personal, but there's this heaviness to this stuckness is what it feels like. And then there's sort of this allowing yourself to settle in that energy, but dreaming up ways out for yourself. So there's been this planning, this sort of underground planning that's been taking place. And then the clock strikes 12. So the time has arrived, is what it feels like. And it's carrying us into, and this feels like a character, the Father of Wands, sort of that strong, hot energy. And it feels with this Chariot reversed like someone is digging their heels in. So there's this resistance that you're experiencing. But I feel that there's follow through. So this energy here feels a bit more challenging, a bit more difficult. There's this, I just heard navigating your way through. Navigating your way around. And then no way around. So there is sort of just this feels like it seems like a roadblock, but there's almost this bypassing that happens. Almost feels like a disregarding. But whatever this is it feels like this liberation, where in the past you felt stuck, there is this liberation. And a great sense of clarity. A great sense of clarity that comes from this follow through. So here, again, like I said, connected to this, the Beaver card. So it feels like around family. It feels as though there could be some things that are weighing, that are feeling a little burdensome. It feels more like there's a mundane, a tediousness to something that requires many steps. And it's not so much that it's just, it almost feels just like a little bit tired, just a little bit tired. And I did hear hitting a wall. So there does feel like there is this, perhaps maybe this experience of, oh, am I hitting my limit here? Am I hitting my limit? And it feels around one thing, you absolutely are. And then another, it feels as though there is this perseverance through. 9-10. And then there's, so in your environment, there's this decision energy here. Options, weighing these options. But now, you're just going to do it. You're just going to do it. And there's this, the image I'm getting is sort of like Moses splitting the tide. So there seems to be finding a way through, even though it seems impossible in some ways. And there is whatever this decision is, there feels like, even though you're stepping into this mystery here and this unknown, giving yourself a gift, I just heard, there is this confidence, this ultimate confidence, this calling. And you see your way through it. And it feels good, I just heard. And it feels good. In hopes and fears, we have the 7 of Wands reversed. And the feeling I'm getting with this is that your fear is, there's almost like you want to have, you want to know what you don't know. And you've been patient and you've analyzed all of these different sides, but there's still a lot you just can't see. And it's the nature of it. And there's something uncomfortable about that. And it's a leap of faith in that way. But there is this fear here of, there's a lot of trust in the universe, I just heard. So a lot of trust in the bigger picture. Things will work out, I just heard. But there's this fear here of, I just heard not quite making the cut, of there's this very understandable fear of not being able to sustain yourself, I want to say emotionally. So there's having someone to lean on, and there's this almost this fear of not having someone to lean on. But most of all, it feels sort of around just this trepidation, perhaps, around moving into the unknown. But you are prepared to do that. You're prepared to do that. And it's more worth it to you, it feels, to go for that light, to follow that call, to bet on yourself, than it is to rest on what hasn't quite been working. So there's this venturing forward energy here, and it feels very transformational. And then coming into the end of October here, I feel like mid-October here, we're looking at this final decision and this action forward. This feels like a portal, like a catalyst. Almost like you're leapfrogging into this next chapter. And it really is about seeking that emotional fulfillment. I just heard the full package. So there's looking for something that's truly compatible with the person you are becoming and the life you are creating. And there's nothing impulsive about this. It feels as though momentarily it might be seen as or experienced as slightly impulsive, but that feels more from an outside perspective. There's nothing, not even impulsive, is more of a shock. But it's just causing this shakeup here. And that's what that's connected to. It feels though like this shakeup is just part of this anticipated process. And you're looking for that. You're looking for reordering, a reorganizing. I just heard you're looking for something different. And so there is that clarity. This is really, really beautiful energy, and it's exciting. It feels as though this has been a long time coming, and you're taking the plunge. So I'm wishing you all the best. I hope that this was helpful. Do check out if this is your sun sign, check out your rising or your moon. That can give you a more holistic reading because these are just very general. And I'll be back with you in a couple of weeks. I hope that October goes beautifully, really, really strong energy. And I did hear health and healing. And I heard continued progress. So take that for what it is. So beautiful. I love you, and please like, comment, subscribe. I'm so grateful for your comments. And yes, I'm sending you all of the best. Love you, and I'll talk to you soon.